Cougar News is proudly sponsored by Vincenzo's Pizza, Granada Hills.
Tonight on Cougar News, we give you an update on the assault that took place in the COC parking lot.
Plus, we'll take a step back in time to the Wild Wild West.
Also, we'll take a look back at all the Santa Clarita sports. Cougar News starts now.
This is Cougar News.
Hello and welcome to Cougar News. I'm Kimberly Pressler.
And I'm Brandon Iarte. Here's the latest from the Cougar Newsroom. Authorities are searching for a suspected arsonist after firefighters extinguished a small blaze in Canyon Country Sunday afternoon. The blaze broke out around in the Santa Clara River behind Rio Vista Elementary School. Los Angeles County Fire Department firefighters knocked down the single-acre fire 30 minutes later. Crews spotted someone starting a second brush fire nearby, which spurred a search by Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station deputies.
According to the Journal of American College Health, 1 in 5 undergraduate females have experienced a form of sexual assault on campus, including one at COC 3 weeks ago. How do you stay safe? Austin Westfall provides those answers.
Earlier this month, College of the Canyon sent out a campus-wide email about a sexual assault which took place between the hours of 8 and 9 p.m. on Campus Drive near lots 5 and 6.
A suspect approached a student, grabbed her breasts, and then pushed her down to the ground.
COC states their investigation of the incident has no leads so far, and they are not optimistic about finding any.
It was one of those things where the victim didn't have a lot for us to go on, and no witnesses came forward from the email that we sent to the entire campus community.
Incidents like this are very rare at College of the Canyons, but if you do need to be out here in the dark alone, it's important to keep a few safety tips in mind.
You travel with a friend, you kind of keep your eyes open, just the same stuff that's common sense. You know, don't go out alone at night.
I don't try to walk by myself. I always try to make sure I'm with someone else.
I do feel safe, but I do get a little nervous because it is dark. You can't really see people, like just typical paranoid, especially knowing that things have happened. Makes me kind of nervous.
For those who are concerned, the college also provides campus escort services, a free service which is available to take students and faculty to any destination on campus. They will even drive you to your car at night. For more information, visit canyons.edu and click on the Campus Safety tab. In addition, if you or someone you know is a victim of assault, please contact Campus Safety as soon as possible at 661-362-3229. For Cougar News, I'm Austin Westfall.
Recently, there have been many deaths in Santa Clarita as a result of street racing, and police think it is influenced by the media. Heather Harbin gives us a closer look.
Street racing has become an increasing problem in Santa Clarita. Although some believe it is a harmless activity, street racing is a misdemeanor crime and participants will be arrested with possible jail time, a fine up to $1,000, and a suspended license.
Street racing's become a real problem in Santa Clarita ever since Paul Walker passed away up in our industrial center a few years ago. It's attracted a lot of fans to come see the site, and with that, a lot of the people who are into street racing have discovered our area and have determined that apparently some of our streets are what they like for street racing.
I've done it before. Newhall Ranch is a pretty nice straight street. The only time I've ever done it is at night when there's no traffic, obviously, because I'm not trying to kill anyone. But it's pretty dangerous, I would say, unless you're really, comfortable with your car and stuff like that, you probably shouldn't ever try it.
Between 2003 and 2013, 271 traffic accidents and 7 deaths have occurred here on Sand Canyon Road.
I just think people should be responsible. I don't think you can really stop people from doing anything. It'd just be nice for people to use common sense and, take it to a track if they want to race. I crashed my car doing dumb stuff.
Santa Clarita sheriffs encourage you to call 911 if you see a street race taking place or think one is going to happen. You can also go to lacrimestoppers.com if you'd like to remain anonymous. Reporting for Cougar News, I'm Heather Harbin.
Santa Clarita Sheriff's Department will be conducting a DUI checkpoint this Friday night. The checkpoint will take place at an undisclosed location between the hours of 6 p.m. and 2 a.m. Deputies will be looking for signs of alcohol and/or drug impairment. Drivers caught under the influence will receive a DUI arrest that includes jail time, fines, fees and DUI classes. Avoid risking your life or someone else's this weekend. Assign a designated driver or arrange a taxi. Because remember, you booze, you cruise, you lose.
Assemblyman Scott Wilkes' plan to repurpose high-speed rail money was shot down 5-10. AB 6 would have given voters the opportunity to redirect $8 million of high-speed rail bonds to fund school construction and maintenance in November of 2016. Wilkes says that public support for high-speed rail has decreased, and that many Californians feel tricked by the project's original projections. The bill was granted reconsideration.
That seemed pretty interesting. I look forward to seeing what happens with the high-speed rail.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have strong feelings for it. But not only that, a lot of people have strong feelings for international news as well. That's why we have Austin Preciado here for our What's Trending.
Yes, tensions are running high in the world right now, but tonight we're going to start in Yemen. The United States sent warships to the Arabian Sea to intercept any Iranian vessels who are trying to supply the Houthi rebels who are fighting in Yemen. The White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest says that they have been seeing evidence of the Iranians supplying weapons and other forms of support to the Houthi rebels in Yemen. But State Department spokeswoman Marie Harf said that the U.S. ships were only there to ensure that shipping lanes remain open and safe, and that they were not there to do anything in terms of those Iranian ships. Navy officials have confirmed that the USS Theodore Roosevelt, along with its escort ship, the USS Normandy, had been dispatched to the Arabian Sea to help enforce a blockade of any Iranian weapon shipments to the Houthi rebels in Yemen. This is all happening while the U.S. and other world powers are still trying to make a deal with Iran on their nuclear program. In other news, a spokesman for a Muslim couple in Alabama said that their 20-year-old daughter fled a Birmingham suburb to join Islamic State militants in Syria after being recruited on the internet. The spokesman Hassan Shibli said that the family has been extremely traumatized and has been in contact with law enforcement and government officials since she disappeared while pleading for her to come home. Shibli also said, "For them, this is worse than losing the life of a child, to have them join such a horrible, horrible gang of violent extremists." There have been other reports of young people leaving or attempting to leave the U.S. for the Islamic State in recent months. In Minnesota, 6 men were charged with terrorism-related offenses after authorities say they attempted to travel to Syria. Shibli said the people who join are often young, naive, impressionable youth seeking sense of belonging. On another note, the drought in California is causing many residents to cut back on their water usage. But in an average year, California gets enough snow and rain to put 200 million acres under a foot of water. But more than half of California's water runs off into the ocean. This is because of environmentalists who have stopped construction of water storage and delivery systems through legal and political actions. And they have also ensured that captured water is released into streams in the ocean rather than the delivery system in order to boost fish populations and to dilute the salinity of the delta. Releasing the water is supposed to save endangered fish like the delta smelt, longfin smelt, Chinook salmon, and others. But we want to hear what you think. You can let us know by tweeting us at COC_Cougar News with the hashtag SaveTheWater or SaveTheFish. And that's what's trending. I'm Austin Preciado. For more stories in and around the Santa Clarita Valley, you can check us out on CougarNews.com. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Austin. Yeah, water has become a serious issue. I mean, we're already in our 4th year of a drought.
Yeah, we sure are. And if you guys want more information on the drought, make sure you check in here with us May 27th. We're going to have a show, and several of those segments are going to be specifically on the drought and the effects it's having here in Santa Clarita. But right now, we are going to move on to the newly elected Congressman Steve Knight. He came under fire after a threat was made to a protester outside his Simi Valley office. The protesters were upset over his vote over the H.R. 240 back in February. One of the protesters was a little harsh in his physicality towards the congressman, which resulted in this reaction.
Is that what you want to say?
Yeah, do you know when
we're going to vote you out in 2 years when your term's
over.
Hey, listen to what he has to say, guys.
I looked it up on the internet.
We're not going to
for American citizens only. To oath for American citizens.
Well, don't touch him. You don't touch. I shook your hand. Don't touch me. All right? One more time, Mike.
After the threat, the congressman stood around and explained his vote and the path that the particular law took, which seemed opposite of the protesters' concerns.
Iran has made education a crime for the people of the Baha'i community. Students at COC gathered for a seminar to learn more about the atrocities these people face. Raina Harvey has more.
It's just a crime, really, to deny anybody higher education.
Imagine your education being deprived from you. Now picture being denied that privilege simply because of your religious beliefs. That is a reality for the Baha'i believers in Iran. Professors, faculty, and students on COC's campus came together to raise awareness on human rights violations around the world, but had a special focus on educating the local college community on the people of the Baha'i faith.
And so I think that something like this happening at COC is just, it's a prime example of that, that concept of thinking globally but acting locally. And if everybody's doing this all over the world, but in the same unified way, it will create a force and a power that cannot be extinguished.
Students shared their sentiments on why they felt the Iran government was preventing the Baha'i from attending schools.
As we know, Iran is predominantly Muslim. They feel that if the Baha'i keep getting educated, that they'll somehow come over and take them over, and it'll become predominantly Baha'i.
In the face of such adversity, the people of the Baha'i religion started the University of BIHE, an institution that offered students a safe place to learn and study.
Guys are learning more than just religion and traditions. They're learning the modern world. They're learning technology. They're progressing. They're evolving with the times.
After learning about the perseverance of the Baha'i people and their continued attempt to pursue their education, the faculty and students agreed on one major thing.
Education is power. Education is power. It's hope. It's the future. It's like food. It's food for our brain. It's food for our soul.
I'm Raina Harvey reporting for Cougar News.
How many hours per day do you spend looking down at your cell phone? Studies show that chronic neck pain is coordinated with frequent cell phone use amongst teens and adults alike. Andrew Gold has more on why your neck may be bothering you.
Reading, texting, social media. Every single one of us rely on a 5-inch screen to relay every bit of information that we could ever need. Studies show that the average American spends nearly 3 hours a day looking down at their phone. But could this much usage have an adverse effect on our spines?
I have felt it before, I not lately, but I have felt it in the past where you spend all day texting and then you feel a pain in your neck at the end of the day, or just even your eyes straining.
Towards the end of the day, around when I'm getting ready for bed, I'll have some stiff neck problems.
Medical experts say that with a 60-degree tilt, the average human head, which weighs out at about 12 pounds, can put 60 pounds of pressure on the spine. That's like carrying an 8-year-old around your neck for 3 hours a day. So I asked, what can you do to alleviate that pain?
I'd say to, just lay back when you text, even just put a pillow around your neck. I don't know, it's easier to lay down and text. Oh, don't drop your phone on your face, but you can hold your phone up and text maybe instead.
Yeah, get off my phone. Yeah, that would probably be the best one. Yeah, exercise and get off my phone, I would say.
Doctors aren't saying to completely cut phone usage, just to be mindful of the amount of pressure being put on your spine. And you can do exercises such as this, where you grab a doorway and push out your chest, which can strengthen the muscles around your spine. For Cougar News, I'm Andrew Gold.
The wait is finally over. Last week, over 100 guests attended the ribbon-cutting ceremony for the brand-new Culinary Arts facility on COC's Valencia campus. Cougar News reporter Enzo Marino was there to give us a little taste of what's cooking at College of the Canyons.
After 2 years in the making, the Institute for Culinary Arts, otherwise known as IQ, has finally opened its doors. The highly anticipated grand opening drew the largest crowd ever for a COC ribbon-cutting ceremony.
It's a celebration of collaboration, of partnership, of daring to dream, and of stepping up to do the job. I want to thank all of you for your willingness to support us, and I'm very proud to serve a community that places such a high value on education.
1, 2, 3. The over 11,000 square foot building, which cost around $8.5 million to build, is equipped with a state-of-the-art smart classroom, 4 professional-grade kitchens, including a chocolate kitchen, a wine studies room, and a fine dining-inspired eating area. For students and faculty alike, one of IQ's crown jewels is the imported Vagliorani wood-burning pizza oven. It came stamped with 3 words every foodie loves to hear: made in Italy.
it definitely opens up a lot of doors. With such a professional kitchen, it gives us an idea of what the kitchen would be like if we go work in, you know, an actual place. So it's a nice experience and a nice transition over.
I'm here in one of 4 brand new kitchens in the IQ building, and for the first time, students will be able to enjoy all their resources under one roof.
Finally, we have a home, and we have a community here of culinarians that can all work and we can all teach under one building. So we're super excited about that.
For the Culinary and Wine Studies Program Department Chair Cindy Schwenke, it's all about the food.
We do farm to table food, so you know, nothing's microwave, nothing's boiled. It's very good, fine, excellent food, so everybody will eat well, and a sense of community.
The restaurant here will start by opening once a week, but Schwenke said she hopes to expand those hours in the future. For Cougar News, I'm Enzo Marino.
Coming up on Cougar News, local residents learn how to live an earth-friendly lifestyle.
Plus, we'll take you on a journey to a galaxy far, far away. Stay tuned.
Are you still looking for your school? College of the Canyons is located on scenic rolling hills with competitive programs such as new media journalism, state-of-the-art sports facilities, and a culinary arts program that will be opening their brand new building with 3 state-of-the-art test kitchens. At only $46 a unit, you will discover that COC is the community college for you. Find out more at www.canyons.edu.
I'm Richard Horvitz.
I'm Tara Strong.
I'm Michael C. Morona.
And I'm Danny Tamarelli.
Hi, this is Ming Chen. This is Mike Zapsik.
Hi, it's Louis Anderson.
I'm Rudell.
I'm Florence Henderson.
I'm the Grinch. And you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching. You're watching.
And you're watching. And you lucky people are watching.
Cougar News.
Cougar News.
Cougar News.
Cougar News.
Cougar News.
Cougar News. You're watching Cougar News.
So this is for the older ladies.
And I'm a cougar.
Welcome back to Cougar News. Tonight we have a special guest in-house, Brett Lieberman, and you are the director of the Summer Meltdown. Thank you so much for coming in tonight.
Thank you for having us.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about what the Summer Meltdown is?
Summer Meltdown, it's a social inclusion project. We take students with and without disabilities, predominantly students with autism. We teach them self-esteem, concert promotion skills, teamwork, communication. All together, we fundraise for an entire year, and we put together an $80,000 production.
Oh, wow.
Now, this was brought together by the Yes I Can program, and I could see that you're wearing
I'm
this
sporting
sweatshirt.
it. I'm proud.
Yeah.
I'm proud.
Can you tell us what the Yes I Can program is?
The Yes I Can program was brought to our district about 13 years ago. It was brought to the William S. Hart Union High School District, and it was brought by a parent whose student really wasn't feeling connected in school and felt that if indeed friendships were there in a social inclusion environment, students would feel better, and indeed there could be friendships made from that. So what we found is using music as the universal language, we can actually connect students with disabilities and students who are just general education together and make them a team.
Let's talk a little bit about the music. You're going to have 30-plus bands there. What other things can spectators expect to see while they're there?
Well, the bands are very much a highlight. We have the Expendables, we have Pepper, we have Naco. On top of that, we have Extreme Sports. We have a skate show put together by Focus Apparel and Diamond. So there's a $1,000 prize for the best Pro-Am skateboarder out here in Santa Clarita.
Now, with this being the 12th year of the Summer Meltdown, what are you guys planning to do differently this year compared to previous years?
Our production is a whole other level this year. We're going really big. We've partnered up with Profound. We've partnered up with StereoBot, who does a lot of the art infrastructures at Coachella. So we're trying to really bring live interactive art and extreme sports and kind of give you a Coachella and a Warped Tour mixed together.
Well, it sounds like a lot of fun. And how many people do you think you're going to be getting this year?
Last year we had a little over 4,000. Our goal is to hit 5,000 and have a sellout this year.
Now, what about if someone wanted to volunteer for this? Could they volunteer?
Absolutely. You just have to contact us on our website, summermeltdownscv.com.
And if someone wanted to buy tickets, where would they go to purchase
They
them?
would actually go to that exact same website, the Summer Meltdown SCV. Tickets are $35 right now. You have 37 bands, 20 live painters. They'll actually be painters on both sides of the stage while bands are performing, so they'll see masterpieces created.
Now, can you talk to us a little bit about where the proceeds go for this?
Everything comes back into the Yes I Can organization. We're a nonprofit organization, so we take the funds, we throw it right back into field trips and social inclusion activities for our students.
And once again, why don't you tell everybody out there if they want to go to this event, because it sounds amazing and worthwhile to attend, and it's for a good cause, where do you get the tickets from?
You're going to you can get them at the website, or you can also get it at Focus Apparel. There's $25 tickets with no fees right now.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. It was great to have you in house.
To celebrate Earth Day, thousands turned out to Santa Clarita's Earth Arbor Day Festival, where residents got tips on what they can do to maintain an earth-friendly lifestyle. I got the chance to check it out firsthand. Free trees, lessons in conservation, and much more. This is what Santa Clarita residents took away from this year's Earth Arbor Day, which took place in Central Park on Saturday. The 26th annual festival was presented by the Santa Clarita family of water suppliers, who consist of several local water agencies like the Valencia Water Company and the Castaic Lake Water Agency. Booths and activities filled the festival as residents not only were able to make music, view artwork, and listen to live entertainment, but also get their questions answered on how to conserve properly and maintain a sustainable lifestyle.
Most residents are asking, how can I create a sustainable lifestyle that will provide similar quality for future generations? And I think out here you see a great mix of both older generations and younger generations who are all coming out to learn about sustainable living systems, conservation, and efficiency.
Alongside the activities, attendees also were able to take home complimentary compost, ladybugs, and trees. During the festival, Santa Clarita received its 25th consecutive Tree City USA Award from the National Arbor Day Foundation. Whether people wanted to learn how to conserve efficiently or enjoy an activity-filled day in the park, residents got a bit of both from this year's festival, as they all learned the importance of maintaining planet Earth. For Cougar News, I'm Brendan Uriarte.
A local high school robotics team is looking to go where no robotics team has gone in nearly a decade. With a little help from College of the Canyons, Project 691 will represent the Santa Clarita Valley at the 2015 First Robotics Competition World Championships. This year's challenge required the team to construct a robot that stacks large boxes with only 6 weeks to build it. The biggest challenge for the team, however, was to raise the funds required to make the trip to Missouri for the competition. COC stepped up to the plate and was able to provide the team with $8,500 to make the trip a reality.
I personally felt really accomplished and proud that we were going to championships for the first time in quite a while. It's the greatest feeling in the world once you see your months of work finally moving around, is doing everything it's supposed to do. It's the greatest feeling in the world.
The force was strong at the Anaheim Convention Center last weekend. Nick Vaverka takes us in for a closer look.
Last weekend, thousands of Star Wars fans from all over the world converged on the Anaheim Convention Center for Star Wars Celebration, an event that celebrates the franchise and exhibits all that's new in the Star Wars universe. The celebration ran from April 16th through April 19th and gave fans a chance to show off some of their incredible homemade costumes.
Starts at the bottom with the 50 hand-sewn buttons. I made the bustle myself. That's back there. We converted a Hasbro helmet, added some windows, my crown, and then the crowning achievement is the Parasol Blaster.
The convention also provided fans with the opportunity to hear from some of their favorite producers, creators, and actors from Disney and Lucasfilm.
We want every aspect of Star Wars that we're working on at Lucasfilm to be truly great.
Walking around the convention, it was pretty clear that Star Wars fans are the most passionate fans in the galaxy.
One of my earliest memories is being in the theater, desperately tired, needing to fall asleep, but Yoda was on screen, and I had to see that. I had to watch that.
We had some great exclusives for Celebration we've sold out of. Unfortunately, we had a great R2-D2 pin, this is the last one, and we have a bunch of stuff. We have rings, bracelets, earrings. We have everything for everybody.
With thousands of fans turning out this weekend, it's clear The force is very much alive in Anaheim. For Cougar News, I'm Nick Vaverka.
That convention looked like a lot of fun. Everybody was talking about Star Wars this week.
Yeah, and also a lot of people are talking about Bruce Jenner. We have Jeremy Broadway with entertainment.
A lot going on with Bruce Jenner. Speculation has been swirling regarding gold medal Olympian Bruce Jenner, who will be setting the record straight about his recent sex change. Bruce will be appearing on the Diane Sawyer Show Friday on ABC. Don't forget to tune in to get the full interview. 90s kids will be glad to know that one of our favorite family sitcoms is being reimagined. Fuller House will be a spin-off to the show that will appear on Netflix. The 13-episode spin-off picks up with DJ, pregnant and recently widowed, veterinarian living in San Francisco. But DJ needs help with her 12-year-old JD and 7-year-old Max, along with the baby on the way. Younger sister Stephanie Tanner, an aspiring musician and best friend Kimmy Gibbler, move in along with Kimmy's teenage daughter to help raise DJ's kids. Newhall goes back in time and cowboys near and far travel to experience the Wild West. Reporter Chantel De La Aguilera finds out what all the hoot and hollering's all about.
The 22nd Annual Cowboy Festival returned to Newhall with local country bands and old Western traditions. Large crowds rounded up to engage in the festivities.
Very interesting, a lot of things to do, a lot of things to see. I like the music and California band, those are cool.
Well, it's kind of a passion that we have to dress up. We belong to a reenactment group, so we like to come out and come to different events and see what else, all the different people that are out here. We usually meet somebody we know and we just enjoy it.
I am a cowboy. I'm a saddle maker also. Make custom shafts. I trick rope. And they called me years ago to come out and entertain, and they can't get rid of me. So.
Participants at the event had the opportunity to take a tour of William S. Hart's mansion.
His 10,000 square foot mansion that is at the top of the hill in William S. Hart Park was built in 1926 under the direction of Hart himself. And when he died, he wanted to have this home turned into a museum and his ranch here into a park for his fans to enjoy, since they were the ones that made it possible for him to actually have all of this here.
With hatchet throwing and bull riding, the Cowboy Festival offers a history lesson on the Wild West, as well as activities to bring out your inner cowboy. It'll be sure to rope you in.
For Cougar News, I'm Chantel Del Aguila.
They're here. But who exactly? Hollywood North Entertainment reporter Ariel Thompson gives us a closer look to the remake of the classic Scary Movie.
Welcome back to Hollywood North Entertainment News. I'm your host, Ariel Thompson. The classic tale Poltergeist is coming back to theaters May 22nd. Filmmaker Sam Raimi and director Jill Kennan reimagine and modernize the old film. The story is about a family whose suburban home is invaded by angry spirits. When the angry spirits escalate their attacks on the family, they take the youngest daughter. The family then comes together to rescue her from the paranormal entities. Tweet me if you plan on seeing the new movie at HNE News and check out cougarnews.com for more information. See you guys next time.
It's hump day, so what does that mean? We're only 2 days away from Friday. Woohoo! Besides being off work for the weekend, you can also look forward to the new movies playing in the local box office. A comedy drama that will warm hearts this weekend is Little Boy. The film is directed by Alejandro Montevideo and is a touching story about a bond between a father and a son. Little Boy premiered at LA Live in downtown LA last Tuesday, and host Alyssa Dickert from Hollywood North Entertainment was there to catch up with some of the stars.
If you are looking for a heartwarming film at the box office, then Little Boy is just the film for you. It's a story about a strong bond between a father and a son who do everything together. And after the father was drafted to World War II, Pepper Flint Busby will do anything to bring his dad back, even move mountains. There was a big showing at the Little Boy premiere in downtown LA, and we got a chance to meet up with some of the stars.
The power to believe in the impossible. Pretty much that was the seed of the story. Can we make a story and tell a story about a character that is willing to do anything for a loved one, but more than that, to believe in the impossible.
Pepper from Busby has the biggest faith and the biggest love out of anyone in the entire world. And his love is centered on his father. And when his father has to go to war, he's just devastated, so he tries everything in his power to get his dad back.
What was it like playing a role like this?
It was just a blessing. I mean, it was a challenge, and I just feel privileged.
And the main theme that was portrayed throughout the film,
To hope. To hope more than anything else in life that the impossible is possible if you truly believe.
You can catch Little Boy in theaters nationwide April 24th. Reporting for Hollywood North Entertainment News, I'm Alyssa Dickert.
And that's all for entertainment. I'm Jamie Broadway. Back to you, Kimberly and Brandon.
Thank you, Jamie. Did you know that we have 17 college peer advisors at College of the Canyons? Laura Pickler has more.
They're all around campus in their little carts, ready to give advice, information, or directions to anyone who needs them. The college's Canyons Peer Advisors.
Sometimes Canyons Peer Advisors are the first contacts that people have on campus. We don't just get questions from students, sometimes we get questions from parents or just people who want to become students. It just becomes easier for them to, follow their dreams.
It doesn't always have to be life-changing advice. In fact, Canyons Peer Advisors answer many different questions.
This is actually my first semester here, so I didn't know where Mentry Hall was, and so they really quickly directed me.
Canyons Peer Advisors go through 5 weeks of training and are updated once a week, but some still question their effectiveness.
Sometimes people don't really feel comfortable coming up to us because we don't look as official as, for example, counseling office or admissions and records.
Nevertheless, many see it as a great idea.
They are students, so more than likely they've been here longer than me, and so they've been around, they know everything, and I would just feel more comfortable. I feel like if I go to them, they'll give me a straight, direct answer anytime I need it, and it'll be helpful and short, quick, to the point.
For peer advisors, helping people is more than just a job.
I like talking to people, and I like giving advice. I like helping people. I like seeing them enlightened.
For Cougar News, I'm Laura Pichler.
A local teacher took a viral story and put it to practice in his classroom. The Signal's Austin Dave tells the story of a Fair Oaks Ranch teacher reaching out to his students.
As each second of the day goes by, a new opportunity to inspire his students arrives.
I would hope everybody in the room would strive to get, whether it's your college diploma or some sort of certificate, whatever you want to be in your life, absolutely.
And this time, the opportunity arrived in the form of a story gone viral on social media. A teacher in Denver, Colorado, asked students to write statements they wanted her to know under the veil of anonymity.
Started the activity by saying you can put your name on it or not, you can share it or not, and afterwards, reading through them, I was truly moved, and a few of them, quite honestly, kind of made me teary-eyed.
You could say personal stuff that you didn't really want to say in class because it kind of made you embarrassed, but you could talk to your teacher and explain if you had troubles or stuff like that.
Like the instructor in Denver, Newton received eye-opening revelations from his 6th grade class.
I learned many things from my students that I did not expect to read or see, and again, it really has opened my eyes to the last part of the year that we have to be more aware and cognizant of their needs, where they're coming from.
Some of the student responses ranged from troubles living with split parents, to too much pressure from after-school activities, and to the loss of a family member.
I really honestly feel that I knew my students well before, and honestly I learned so much from them after doing the activity.
As a demonstration of goodwill, Newton added his own twist to the assignment. He wrote a letter to his students.
I wish my students knew about how much I care about their education, how I'm always willing to do whatever it takes to make sure they get the best education possible. And I like to think they were appreciative that I did the activity with them.
All in all, it was a chance to create an open dialogue without actually saying anything aloud.
I learned that I can express my feelings better when I'm writing, other than speaking out loud, which I'm not afraid of doing, but I feel like I can really do better when I'm writing.
I would love and suggest that every teacher do this activity. It took about 15-20 minutes. There wasn't a time limit on it. Some kids wrote a page, quite honestly. Other kids wrote a couple of sentences, and they were very honest. And it really, really did open my eyes to their needs, where they're coming from, because you think you know your students, but you truly don't.
And symbolizes hard work, symbolizes dedication. So.
I'm Austin Dave.
College of the Canyons recently held its biggest job and career fair of the year. Robert Spallone was there to find out more.
It's the reason why most students attend College of the Canyons, to find a sustainable career. And this year's COC Job and Career Fair gave students and others in the Santa Clarita Valley a little insight on the current state of the local job market.
Well, it's our big job fair. We have 2 every year, and this is the big one. And what's going on today is they have about 90 employers here, and in order for them to be here, they have to have a job available. So there's over 90 jobs available. And this year is the biggest year in 8 years, so it's pretty exciting. The biggest year in terms of how many people are coming to offer jobs to our people. So it's very exciting.
Businesses and organizations from Santa Clarita and its surrounding areas were there to fill some open positions. Hathaway Sycamores, one of the largest mental health care providers in LA County, was hoping to attract those interested in working with children and families.
We heard about this through word of mouth, and I think it's a great area for us to recruit, considering that we do have openings in Lancaster and Pacoima, so I figured why not, let's check it out.
We actually met some great candidates. We were able to book interviews on the spot. They're going to be coming down to meet with us next week in Pasadena for an interview. We are also accepting resumes, and we are encouraging any job seekers to go onto the website to take a look at all the positions we have open.
While being prepared sets the best odds for getting hired, the fair is still open to those who are just curious about available opportunities.
There are like boards outside, and I thought it interesting because I want to be employed somewhere, so I just tried to check it out.
Resumes have been handed in, and employers are just about all packed up here for the day's event. If you're still looking for a job, another job fair is on its way, April 29th at College of the Canyons Canyon Country Campus. For Cougar News, I'm Robert Spallone.
One department at COC gives students the resources needed for environmental awareness. Cougar News reporter Aaron Lanuza tells us more.
The Sustainability Center at College of the Canyons organizes events in and around the community to maintain constant outreach to its students about sustainable projects and environmental awareness efforts. From natural soaps to conservation to bluebird preservation, the Sustainability Center has a knack for choosing the rightville from the wrongville.
Our main mission is to promote sustainability on campus. Yeah, that's, letting people know that sustainability and otherwise environmental awareness is important. We also have a bunch of resources for people to get involved. So people can come to us and be like, hey, how can I help out? How can I be more green at home or at school, just more sustainable in general? And then we can help out with that too.
Sustainability Center Director and Professor Dr. Chang Levine began the Sustainability Center in 2012, and she has a great story to tell from it.
Sustainability Center showed a film called Flow, For the Love of Water. People got really, really excited and to some point upset about how the water is used, the bottled water and all the plastic that's been wasted. And then people literally followed me to the center and said, what can we do? Can we do something about it? Other campuses have bottle refilling stations. Maybe we should try. And lo and behold, before you know it, we talked to the ASG, we talked to the facility department, we got a great support from our chancellor, Dr. Van Hook. We found the money, we found the funding, and we're able to install the water refilling stations with ASG backing the filters for 5 years to come.
For your Cougar News, I'm Aaron Lanuza, and don't forget to check out cougarnews.com.
Still to come on Cougar News, we will give you tips on how to get beach body ready.
Also, we have the latest in all of Santa Clarita sports. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, this is T-Boz of TLC.
This is Batman.
I'm Michael C. Morona.
And I'm Danny Tamarelli.
Hi, this is Ming Chen.
This is Mike Zapsik.
Hi, it's Louis Anderson.
I'm Weird Al.
I'm Florence Henderson.
You're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching. And you're watching.
And you lucky people are watching
Cougar News.
Cougar News. Cougar News.
Cougar News.
Cougar News. You're watching Cougar News.
And I'm a cougar.
Stay tuned.
Habitat for Heroes.
Really, it's a story about people.
Letting people see that they're not alone, they're not isolated. We're here to help.
And we need to work on behalf of our veterans.
Then we can really change that veteran's ability to reintegrate into the community.
Habitat for Heroes is not just rebuilding homes, but it's rebuilding lives.
And that's the message we want to get across.
Get involved. Visit habitatscv.org and find out how you can help.
Knock out cancer! You're watching Cougar News!
Last weekend, the Academy Swim Club in Valencia held a workshop on the importance of swim safety for children both on and off the autism spectrum. Georgia Rios dives in for a closer look.
With more than 8.8 million pools in California alone, and some are just around the corner, the question every parent should be asking themselves is, are their children at risk of accidental drowning?
The number one thing is not allowing your child to jump in the water with no one in the water. So a parent or a guardian or whoever's in charge needs to be in the water first and then invite the child into the water, whether or not they have autism. That way no child thinks it's okay to just jump in the water in any pool.
Well, I'm Kathleen Secchi. I'm with the Family Focus Resource Center. I'm the coordinator for our offices here in Santa Clarita. And we have 3 offices. We serve all of North LA County, which is part of the San Fernando Valley, Santa Clarita Valley, and the Antelope Valley. We provide information, resources, support, navigating the service system, support groups, workshops, and those things for people who have a child birth to 22 with developmental disabilities or have concerns about their education or their development.
90% of all fatal wandering incidents involving children with autism are due to drownings. Programs like this aim to decrease that number one child at a time.
I've coached a lot of children with all types of special needs. I've seen their love for the water, but I've also seen how dangerous it can be. I've had to jump in and rescue children from the water who have gone down and not realized that they've run out of air and have struggled to come back up. My hopes for this program is just to get the word out to as many families as I possibly can about the dangers of wandering and children with autism around the water.
For further safety information or education on the subject, please contact Jennifer Rios at jenny@swimforlife.com or go to swimforlife.com. I'm Georgia Rios reporting for Cougar News.
The Assistance League hosted the Operation School Bell 5K run last weekend to raise money for elementary, junior high, and high school students. Our own Ariel Thompson has the story.
Runners started on their marks on Newhall Avenue to raise money for Santa Clarita students this past Sunday.
Well, this 5K's been instituted 26 years ago. All of the money goes back to kids that need help with clothing to go to school, because we find out that kids that are dressed right for school do better in school. So all the money goes towards that.
As time was ticking, runners sprinted to the finish line to complete the 5K and grab their medal.
There were 5 schools out of 7 that participated, and there was 300 kids from the Mesa.
Hold on. A variety of people were involved in the school bell run this year. Not only did students complete the 5K, but adults did too. Students all over Santa Clarita came to support the School Bell 5K run. This event happens every year, so don't forget to sign up next year and bring a friend. For Cougar News, I'm Ariel Thompson.
To become a member, or if you would like to make a donation to Operation School Bell, you can visit the website at assistanceleaguesantaclarita.org. Now moving on to the baseball diamond, we have Felicia Cardenas with sports.
Yes, we have a lot going on in sports this week, so I'm going to step over here and get you guys all caught up on sports. Most sports fans here in the Santa Clarita Valley have heard of Royals pitcher and Hart High alumnus James Shields, but there's no love for former Vikings infielder Danny Worth. He was drafted by the Detroit Tigers as an infielder, but during a blowout loss from the Texas Rangers, Worth was called up to pitch an inning. He may not be a flashy name, but it was a Valencia player on the mound either way. That might change the way Kevin Chandler is playing for Valencia. Today, he and the Kings faced Hart with hopes for the Foothill League title on the line. A big game for the title between Valencia and Kevin Chandler and Hart's Jack Ralston. We start at the top of the first with the play of the day candidate. Scott Ogren with a high fly ball seems foul, and that is until Colby Kaneshiro, makes a spectacular grab over the fence for the out. Defense a major help, but the Vikings would get hot early Valencia lead when first baseman Devin Davis gets an RBI single to bring in AJ Medina. Davis pumped as Valencia leads 3-1 going into the 5th inning. The Indians had their turn in the 5th inning and game was tied at 3. Nick Playa crushes one past the infield and Robert Reeves is off. Reeves crosses the plate and all of a sudden Hart leads over the league champs 4-3. But in a comeback fashion, the Indians weren't done yet. Kaneshiro at the plate and he gets it onto the grass, bringing in another 2. And the Indians burn Chandler for 5 runs in the 5th inning and win today's game 6-3. Now moving on to the college diamond. We start at the top of the second. Cougars are down 2-0 as Junior Felix advances to second on a pass ball by Danny Mesa. The Cougars showed strong defense, however, as later Felix is thrown out trying to take home on a slow dribbler to first baseman Chris Devry. And we'll look ahead to the top of the 4th. Bakersfield still leading 2-0 as Felix is caught stealing on a beautiful throw from Danny Mesa. And the bottom of the 4th now, we see Jose Jaros here. And he draws a 1-out walk, which brings up Dylan Fryer. Fryer lines a base hit into the left center field, and on a great throw from the center fielder, Jose Jaros almost gets called out on the 3rd, leaving runners on the corners. And that brings up Roy Verdejo, who hits a ground ball into the 5-6 hole, which scores Jose Jaros, making it 2-1 Bakersfield. And picking up at the bottom of the 5th now, the score is tied 2-2 with runners on 2nd and 3rd. Fryer hits a bleeder into right field, which finds some outfield grass, scoring Justin Oliver right here. And close behind him, Jose Jaros giving the Cougars a 4-2 lead. And to the top of the 8th we go. We're going to see Tyler Ryan in the outfield as he makes a spectacular catch, crashing into the wall, saving sure extra bases, but not before Bakersfield puts up 5 runs to extend their lead 7-5. And the Cougars end up falling 8-5 and fall to 9-9 in conference. The Cougars headed out to Bakersfield yesterday looking for redemption after their loss on Saturday. And Colin Dudley proved to be too much for the Renegades as he went 8 2/3 innings, giving up 4 earned runs, picking up the 7-5 win and taking the Cougars to 10-9 in conference and 18-16 overall. The Cougars head to Glendale on Thursday in their first of 2 games against the Vaqueros to close out the season. I also had the pleasure to chat with several players on the team earlier in the season about what baseball means to them. And the message is clear. Let's take a look.
If you ask baseball fans their dream team, they'll typically pick Hall of Famers like Cy Young, Babe Ruth, Mike Schmidt, Honus Wagner, and Jackie Robinson. Yet the Cougars have a dream team of their own in J.C. Cloney, Roy Verdejo, Dylan Fryer, Jose Jaros, and Colton Burns. But they didn't always think they could reach their dreams.
My junior year, I fractured my spine, and so I was out for a whole year, and then so just coming back from that and like knowing that I can still play the game and like pushing through that to make sure that I can come back from anything, that was big for me.
Didn't really expect it to be like, I expected myself to maybe be like a normal freshman hitting right now, but coming up with like seven home runs and all that stuff, that was a big surprise for me.
They may be young, but these Cougars have a lot to be proud of.
One of the biggest accomplishments was getting the Gold Glove last year for conference for third base, and I also made second team all conference.
Getting drafted in 2013, that was my biggest accomplishment.
Despite how well they're doing in their season, they know there's always room for improvement.
I'm leading off. I started off the season batting ninth, and I worked my way up to the first spot. There's a lot of things I can improve on, like the way I field ground balls. Like I need to practice that maybe a little more, and just like kind of perfect it. But you can't really be perfect, but I'd like to think so.
For these players, baseball is more than just a game.
It's like a getaway. It's my own little paradise. You come out here, you don't really think about life much. If you're having a rough day, this is where you come to make that day better.
No matter how far baseball has brought them, they're still chasing their dreams.
Basically, my dream when I was a kid, just to make it to the MLB. Whoever's the team that wants me, I'll go.
Looking back on their career so far, these Cougars have words of encouragement for young, aspiring athletes.
Just work hard. Work hard at your position. Don't take anything for granted. And practice as well. Focus in school, because that's going to be a big part. If baseball doesn't work out, school can be there as well.
For Cougar News, Felisa Cardenas.
And to see the extended version of the interview, be sure to log on to cougarnews.com. Now we're going to move over to the softball diamond, where we see ranked number 9 in the state of California, but coming off a tough sweep at the hands of Palomar, the Cougar softball team wanted some momentum heading into the postseason. And they got just that yesterday against Valley College. The Cougars cruised to an easy 7-zip shutout in Game 1, highlighted by Jennifer Metcalf, who drove in 5 runs, including a triple and a home run. Milana Casilla allowed just 4 hits over 7 innings, and Game 2 also went COC's way, but the Cougars had to overcome a 6-run deficit before holding off Valley 9-8. Canyons finished the regular season 28, 10, and 1, and wait to see who they play when the conference playoffs begin a week from Saturday. And now we dive into the COC pool. The Cougar swim team came back from the WSC State Championships this past weekend, and the men and women's teams both took 7th place overall. Women's diver Alexis Kearns qualified for state finals in the 1-meter and 3-meter board. Meanwhile, Philip Wong also qualified for his events in the men's 200-meter and 100-meter fly. The College of the Canyons women's soccer team held a youth soccer camp over spring break. Andrew Gold was there to check it out. The youth took over COC's soccer fields April 6th through the 10th. Kids and teens ages 5 through 14 were invited to hone their skills and maybe learn a few tricks from their favorite COC soccer girls. Head coach Justin London ran the camp, bringing his assistant coaches and a different group of players every day. Although it was fairly windy all week, it didn't stop these kids from having a kickin' time. All campers received a soccer ball and a COC mini t-shirt for their participation. And that's all I have for sports for you guys this week, so back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Felisa. With summer right around the corner, many people are looking to get their bodies in shape. Jamie Broadway shares some tips on how to get fit.
Student nutrition and wellness advocates at COC teamed up with Sherry Barkey, sports and wellness dietitian, and Mackenzie Hall, registered dietitian, to give our fellow Cougars 6 tips that naturally fit people do differently. 1, they enjoy staying active. They spend more time with other active people. They don't diet. They eat real food. They prioritize their sleep, rest, and leisure time. And the last but not least thing is they don't try to be perfect.
Is the student nutrition and wellness advocates at COC, and I got involved just by making a free appointment with registered dietitian Sherry Barkey here at the Students Health.
Sherry gives us a quick tip to eating healthy on the go.
Principle and making sure that meals are balanced, and that means it has a fruit or vegetable, a starch or grain, and a protein-rich foods. So one of the meals that is commonly missed in college is breakfast, because they're racing in the morning to get off to school. So it doesn't have to necessarily be a sit-down meal, but if you can grab 3 things that have hit all food groups. So it could be like a banana, a piece of whole wheat toast with some peanut butter on it for protein.
So, you know, packing an apple, packing a banana, even just taking baby carrots, it's really nature's fast food. So I always like to think of lots of produce and then supplementing it with protein-rich foods like string cheese and hummus, those kinds of things.
Eating healthy is a concern we all have, but you can come and join the Snack Club to find out how you can eat healthier. I'm Jamie Broadway with Cougar News.
That does it for this edition of Cougar News. I'm Brandon Uriarte. Remember, you can catch us on the web at cougarnews.com.
And I'm Kimberly Pressler. You can also send us news tips and story ideas to our Twitter handle, COC_Cougar News. Have a great night, everybody.